It's usually pretty obvious whether you're dealing with a natural stone or a manufactured tile, but the manufactured tiles have gotten better and sometimes you can get fooled. The best thing to do is always ask if there's any leftover tiles from the original installation. This can come in handy as well later if you need to do any testing or repair work. Lacking any leftover tile, look for some other clues. A natural stone will never have a pattern repeat. You can look for a register vent that you can remove and expose the edge of the tile to examine. A narrow, unsanded grout line is also usually a pretty good indication you're dealing with a natural stone. And if all else fails, you can run a scratch test. The Mohs hardness scale was developed years ago to rank the relative hardness of different minerals, ranging from the softest all the way up to diamond, the hardest known mineral. This scale is the basis of the scratch test. While you can actually scratch some soft marbles with a penny, you'll normally be using a knife blade, which will be able to dig into most stones short of a pretty good granite. Most man-made tiles you run into are either going to be ceramic or porcelain. While there is a range of quality and hardness within each class, ceramic tiles are generally a little softer than porcelain. Natural stone used for tile can cover a pretty broad range, from very soft marbles, normally used for wall tiles, all the way up to some very dense and hard granites. Man-made stones do not react with acid, where natural stones such as marble and limestone can etch very easily even with weak solutions of acid. Even stone like granite that theoretically should not be acid sensitive should always be tested. Some versions of granite and slate do have impurities in them that can react with acid, so it's always the safest thing to do to test. You can run the acid test using the acid cleaner that you may have in your truck, or you can simply use lemon juice or white vinegar. Again, make sure that you test an obscure spot in case you do get an unexpected reaction. In the case of granite, slate, quartz, some of these materials that you're not expecting to be acid sensitive, make sure you let the acid sit there for a while, maybe 10 minutes. Wipe it off and see if there's a reaction. You may not get the violent reaction that you do with marble or limestone, but that subtle etching that could take place needs to be known. Tile manufactured with a glazed surface is non-porous. Some man-made tiles like terracotta or Mexican tile can be extremely porous. Natural stone can go either way. The porosity of the tile can make it more difficult to clean, strip off sealers, and even color seal. The most critical step in a successful ColorClad installation is the preparation of the grout. There can be no shortcuts. Understanding what the tile is and how it can be treated is important when bidding the job. And while rare, some jobs may be just too impractical to color seal. You may have to fall back to a clean and clear seal only. Especially with floors, it's not uncommon to find that the surface has already been treated with some other type of chemistry. These break down into two categories: film formers and impregnators or penetrating sealers. Any film on the surface must be removed, and it's generally going to be more difficult to remove it from the grout than it is from the tile. Penetrating sealers are less of a problem. As long as the grout readily absorbs water or reacts with acid, there shouldn't be any issues. A previous color seal product, while also a film former, may not have to be completely removed. ColorClad will form a great bond to an existing color seal provided it is thoroughly clean and dry. However, if the original color seal is flaking or peeling or showing any signs of poor adhesion, it must be completely removed. Testing may well be the most important part of the job site inspection. Always test more than one spot. Those really dirty areas in front of a doorway may actually be much easier to clean than those little greasy spots in front of the stove. A wax applied long ago may have worn off or been washed away in the middle of the room, yet still be present around the perimeter or in closets and present a challenge in cleaning. Above all, make sure your test works. With the right chemical and a little grout brush, you should be able to get a small spot of the grout very clean. The big equipment like floor scrubbers and truck mounts will certainly speed along the job, but don't count on them to perform a miracle. How the tile is laid will have a big impact on how fast you can color seal. A straight lay floor is always going to be faster than a pattern. Some patterns are worse than others. A big open area will go a lot faster than the same square footage broken down into hallways, closets, or kitchens cluttered with islands and cabinets. High grout lines can seriously slow down your production rate. A few high spots, say behind a toilet or in the corners, are one thing, but if the whole floor has high grout lines, you may want to seriously reconsider whether the floor should be color sealed or not. Scalloped, wavy, or pillow edges on the tile can slow your production rates down as well. A honed natural stone, a non-slip surface, or a heavy texture is going to add time to both the cleaning and the color sealing steps. Those little cove base uplines can also be very time consuming, especially if they're very soiled or covered with wax. It's almost impossible to repair any significant damage to a manufactured tile. Trying to use color seal to repair a crack or a chip is not recommended, as results are usually either bad looking or temporary. If no spare tiles are available, you can try to scavenge one from an inconspicuous spot, but it's usually pretty tough to extract a tile from the floor and be able to reuse it. Most natural stones can be repaired, provided you have the tools and the skills to do so. If you run into loose tiles or cracked grout, it's important to find out why this is happening. Unlike concrete stains or other color seal products on the market, ColorClad is a true restoration product. Its thick body and elastomeric properties allow you to successfully color seal over minor cracks in the grout. But there is no product that you can put on top of the floor that's going to repair any significant problems that lie beneath the tile. Before you come up with the final number on your bid, make sure you step back and look at the big picture. Make sure you have a good handle on all those small issues that can add time and expense to a job. As you can see, there are quite a few things to consider during your job site inspection. The good news is that only a few of these issues will show up on any given job. A good job site inspection is your best tool to keep your jobs running on schedule. With experience, the job site inspection becomes both faster and more detailed.